there's nothing better than building an old school small block that actually revs and stays together.
Yeah.
They sound so friggin' good.
Example A.
Yeah. I'm Brett. I'm from the Gold Coast. I was born here. I've moved away at times, but always come back. It's paradise. Why would I go anywhere? This is my black Boss 302, 1970 model, special ordered paint from the Dearborn factory. I grew up a GT boy, but also loved Boss 302. I like the idea of growing up with GTs and 4V heads. Love the idea of something with shorter stroke that just revved beyond what the Aussie muscle cars did. And that they do. It didn't disappoint. I bought it locally. A friend of mine had imported it years ago, along with probably 20 other cars, and then realised the time it goes into restoring cars. He had big dreams to restore them, but just not enough time on his hands. So got Dad in to help me restore it. Dad's a retired panel beater, so basically do it to keep him busy, and I help pay a few of his, help him pay his way a bit, and make it worth his while. But he's just a gun. Like, there's very few actual panel beaters around these days, so having one at my disposal when he has nothing else to do is very, very handy. Especially when you're restoring a black car that's 50 years old. It's got to be done right. Bought it as a rolling shell. Engine, gearbox and diff were there, so the driveline was there in pieces. Basically, Dad took it back to bare metal. We took every nut and bolt out of it, sandblasted what we couldn't replace, and just restored every part of the car. Working through, there's a couple of bad repairs over the years. Someone had done the lower quarters badly, so we unpicked that and redid it. A couple of little bits on the floor pan. Floor pan was original, but there was a few bits that had been tampered with that we redid. With a Boss 302, it's important that things are done right. It's worth putting in the extra time. In 1970 was the only year they didn't keep track of special requests, special colours. So the Marty report, interestingly, says special paint, colour unknown. It's not till you start stripping back the layers over the years to see what colours it's been, and then you just work out which one doesn't wash off with solvent. So we came back to black on this car, inside, under things. The car had been sandblasted, it had been gold, it had been blue, but underlyingly it was black, which I love. I think it looks really good on the 70 body with some stripes and stuff on it to break it up. My favourite part of the car actually is something that we decided to do to get the stance on the Mustang sits a bit nose up in the 69, 70s. So my favourite bit that we did was fitting the F60 size tyres on the front, which are 26 inch, and the L60s on the rear, which are 28s. And it's subtle enough that people don't pick up on it, but it gives it that good muscle car nose down stance. Makes it look like it's ready to drive. Most of the parts came from Mustang Auto Parts. I don't want to admit it, but there's a lot of reproduction chrome on this car. A lot of interior stuff that just can't be found, that's better reproduced. And everything I could source from Mustang Auto Parts I got from there. This wasn't the first car I've restored sourcing parts from Mustang Auto Parts. It won't be the last. Guys up there really bend over backwards to get I suppose they want to make money out of it, but to get everything they can for me and to solve my needs, which is why they have a good business, and they're reliable and they're friendly, because they really are there to solve your needs. That's commercially why they exist, and it shows in the way that they supply and they promise and they chase the bits for you, is that they're just about solving your needs and making sure they are the one place that you want to come for the bits that you need for your restoration. sold me on the high revving motors because Dad always had GT Falcons.
Yep.
But then he built this ute, which was a throw together years ago. That was a 289 with solar lifter phase 3 heads on it.
Yep.
And like it revved past 10 grand, and it ran in
10 grand.
Yeah, in the 70s. It ran a 10.5 in an XYU. He said it was a terrible road car, but like just it revving and doing times like that. It was only a standard 289 bottom end. I just wanted to, that's why I wanted one. I just wanted to build something that revved.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than building an old school small block that actually revs and stays together.
Yeah.
They sound so friggin' good.
Example A.
Yes. I don't like to rev this one too hard though, because it's still the original block. I'm a risk taker, but I'm not that much of a risk taker. Plus the 3.5s and the close ratio in this, by the time you get to 6.5 grand in first gear, you're doing over 100 k's an hour. So yeah, we're in Australia, nanny state, can't do those speeds here.
At least that's what we tell the audience.
Yeah. Hard to find first and second gear sometimes with these host shifters. It's kind of like you just spin it around and then push and hope it gets there. Sometimes it's reverse.
Yeah.